Congratulations. You found the Twin Cities Hit Show.
Very well. Where do I begin?
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
Reach for this one.
And now, a real hit show.
Well, boys. Looks like we got a Mexican standoff.
Live from the Twin Cities.
We didn't try to do you any harm. Why don't you try to be a little more polite?
It's the Twin Cities Hit Show.
If you're the police, where are your badges? Badges? We ain't got no badges. We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Let's get this hit show started.
We don't need no stinking badges.
We don't need no badges.
It's Cinco de Mayo. It's May 5th.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
I like to call
gentlemen.
it Cinco de Mayo.
Because
you would.
You're a sandwich guy, is that it?
Or he likes saying
No.
things incorrectly.
I'm doing
I think
it
that's
in
what
Spanish. That's the literal translation.
He's actually fluent in Spanish, correct?
Sí, hablo español un poco.
How would you say, welcome to the Twin Cities Hit Show?
Bienvenidos al, I don't know how to say show, de Los Twin Cities.
Very nice.
Well,
Gracias.
I guess
No
we'll
puedo
buy it.
hacerlo.
Do you guys know what Cinco de Mayo is about?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, tell me.
It celebrates the battle between the French-Mexican War, the particular battle in 1862.
No, that's
Wow,
not correct.
yes.
No. It's actually it's about drinking beer and gunfights.
See?
Good try though. Next.
And I know that we do pay a lot more attention to than they actually do in Mexico. So but now it's become just like evolved into a great time for Mexican Americans to celebrate their heritage.
Yes.
St. Paul goes a little extra crazy on Cinco de Mayo.
Oh,
right?
see.
So they grab onto St. Patrick's Day and Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Minneapolis just shakes its head and goes, what are you doing?
And they also are celebrating a new day in honor of my people, the Jews. It's called Despair Day, and that's in June. And people go out and pout and drink a lot of beer.
I will tell you. Can I tell you my worst Cinco de Mayo story? And I will tell you. This is back when I was very, very, very. For any kids listening, do not do this. So do not do this. This is back when I was young.
Kids are now writing this
and
down.
incredibly irresponsible. Incredibly irresponsible. So when we were doing our the previous morning show that I was on, when I still on back when B96 was still around, we decided that we were going to have Cinco de Cuervo. So we all brought in. We brought in a bunch So we have all the stuff and really, really cheap tequila, and we were drinking while we were on the air. And
the boss knew this?
Yes. That's back when you could do things like that.
Hey.
And this
You're
is how
old.
I'm very old.
That would have been awesome
I
at
know.
KSTP.
We were doing margaritas, and I had some really bad tequila. El Matador. El
Oh.
Matador tequila. It is the worst.
Que lástima.
The worst. Not the finest tequila. The worst tequila
Sí, el
available.
más
And a
peor.
morning show typically goes on for hours.
Yes, and we started at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
So
And
what was the end of that show like?
the end of the show, I don't remember the end of the show. I do remember that I decided I was going to go home. And so this is why I'm telling you, it was incredibly irresponsible. Listen, so I drove home.
Oh,
Drove home.
I'm here to tell you that's not good.
It was a terrible idea. And so I drove home, passed out at home, woke up 3 hours later. So now it's like noon. I wake up and I'm mad because I thought I had missed our show.
Oh.
Right. I forgot I was even at work that morning. And I'm mad that our
I wanna
producer
hear
didn't
that
call
air
me.
check.
And
I
then
know.
what happened was she rolled over and she said, Don, wake up. And Don Shelby leapt out of bed and went to the...
I never pulled
Sorry,
any. I
Don.
never pulled any good like anchor tail without like no. I never.
Well, speaking of Anchor, we have a pretty important guest. Here's some sound from when I worked with him. Here we go. Let's see if here it comes. Here we go.
Do you know who I am?
No, I can't say that I do.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Really?
People know me.
I sure know. I'm joining us all the way from Philadelphia, Brad Sattin.
Hey
Brad.
guys, and I look better in a Speedo than Ron Burgundy does.
Well, that's because you, as we were talking before the show, that's because you're a runner. You just ran a race. Where was this one?
This was in Philly. 10 mile, and I still can't move my legs. This was, Sunday? A few days ago, and I'm still sore.
Congratulations.
You stopped at Gino's for a Philly on the way back.
Yeah, well, it's not far. Gino's and Pat's. They're the competing cheesesteak places right across the street from each other in South Philly. Yep.
Because you run a couple of marathons, including, were they all with Hauser or just a couple with Tom Hauser?
He's the instigator. I'd run none if he didn't talk me into it. And now he's actually coming to Philly. At least that's the tentative plan in November. We're going to do the Philly Marathon. So, yeah, we've done them together. We've done Twin Cities, Chicago. And actually, I did do the Washington, D.C. Marine Corps Marathon and couldn't get him to join me for some reason a couple years ago.
Running marathons, it's like training for a marathon is like a part-time job.
Oh, it's brutal.
You have to log so many miles. I'm going, I can't do it.
As I cross the finish line of each one, I swear I will never, ever do it again.
Which is what you should say, but then you forget 3 months later, like all of us women that have babies, we're like, it wasn't that hard. Yeah. I could do another one.
It's funny because even doctors say, oh, you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not even healthy, so I don't know what I'm thinking.
But then they have the potato chips at the end. Of course you want to do it again.
And the lovely aluminum blankets.
Yes.
That's what you
right.
With Hauser, he goes right to the beer. Hauser goes right to the beer tent after his marathons.
Yes, he does. He is my idol. The guy can run and the guy can drink a beer like I've never seen. He can do it all. When I finish a marathon, I need about a 3-hour nap, and I tell him I'll meet him in the pub later.
Yeah. Now, how long have you gone? How long have you been out there in Philly? When did you leave the Twin Cities?
I finished at KSTP in late August. So as of the beginning of September, what is that? 7-8 months?
Yeah. All right.
Long time. Time flies.
How would you compare doing the news out in Philly versus the Twin Cities news world?
I would say it's pretty different. Philly is a very urban environment, and the kind of news you do, I think, is a lot different. Not to, toot your horn over there, but Minnesota is very educated. People there are educated, and I think what they want in their newscasts, not the same as oftentimes what we're delivering here. A lot of what we do here is kind of the breaking news, the spot news, the craziness that happens. The stories that we cover in Minneapolis, I think, take more time to develop, maybe in some ways more meaningful. Not that we don't do that in Philly, but a lot of the stuff that I spend time doing is kind of yesterday we had a tragedy with 3 people dying in a house fire. In an urban environment this big, there's a lot of that kind of stuff that happens. So you're kind of chasing that stuff around a lot.
So for all the podcast listeners to the show in Philadelphia, what Brad has just said is we're smart in the Twin Cities and you people in Philly are dumb.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm definitely not saying that. I like to hold on to my job.
They're different smart. They're different smart.
I think the kind of news. I mean, we do a lot of these same investigations that we did at Channel 5, that kind of stuff. But I think for me personally, as what we call a general assignment reporter, kind of running around, it's a lot of the spot news stuff that happens. At 6 o'clock, you're doing a different story than you're doing at 11 o'clock because in between there, craziness has happened.
And it's kind of home for you as well, right?
It is. And I was working in Philly before I went to Minneapolis. But, I was in Minneapolis for 10 years? And prior to that, I was in Philly. So this is a homecoming to be closer to family primarily is why I made the move. But I won't lie, I miss it. I lived right in the warehouse district and would walk over to the Target field and catch some ball games and run along the Mississippi. And in the summertime, I didn't miss it a whole lot in the winter. I won't lie.
But being in the Twin Cities, because I'm not from here either, it's infectious. Like you get here and you're like, no wonder I can stay here. And you just really, once you get yourself acclimated, you just go, this is home now. I claim it more than I claim Arizona where I'm from.
It's infectious, but so's Ebola.
Well, but this doesn't kill you. It just makes you stronger.
It comes damn close every winter.
Not every winter. This winter was not that bad.
No, this was mild.
A couple of winters ago,
you guys,
the weather
I think, had more of a mild winter than we did here in Philly. That's hard to believe. I think we had more snow, and they don't understand below zero. I used to brag this past winter that last year we had 50 days. I think that was the number, 50 days in the Twin Cities where it never even hit 0 degrees. And people look at me like, what are you talking about? Around here, if wind chills got into the single digits, people go crazy.
Do you find yourself having to correct a lot of stereotypes when they said, ooh, you worked in Minnesota. Ooh, what was that like? Ooh. Do they have a misconception of Minnesota?
They think Do they have a misconception? I don't think so. You know, they never heard of Minnesota Nice. They know of the land of 10,000 lakes. They've heard of that. They know of, grumpy old men. So you're clearly, everybody's fishing, in the middle of the lakes in the wintertime.
Do you remind them that Prince is from here?
Prince is from there, yeah.
Do you remind them that Rusty's from here?
Right. No, I miss it. I'm not going to lie. This time of year, especially. I mean, it's the most awesome place to be in the summertime. I just loved it. Even biking. I spent a lot of time bike riding. There's so many great places to bike in Minneapolis. And they just started. You know how you guys have Nice Ride, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the free bikes.
The green bikes around the city. They just started that 2 weeks ago in Philly with Blue Bikes, and so I did a story on it. And people didn't get it. They're like, wait, you're renting bikes and doing what? And I had to kind of explain how it works. But the problem is there's not the places to bike, at least not nearly as good as the Twin Cities.
And even if there were, I don't think that they're as nice as us. You can't just have a bunch of kiosks for your bikes hanging around Philly.
Yeah.
When I went there, I'm like, I'm not leaving my bike anywhere.
Well, how many are... The first question everybody says is, well, aren't they all going to get stolen?
Exactly. They're like, no, they're very polite people, and they bring them back.
Here's the key to those bikes, guys. You use a stolen credit card. Boom, don't return it.
Everybody's not as questionable as you. That's how it is.
I got to say, I thought of you the other day because I did hop on a bike, and from Minnetonka, I biked to Target Field.
And nice. That's a nice ride, isn't it?
There's parts of the city that I never views, angles, like as you approach downtown, you're in a whole wetland area, and yet you're almost to downtown. I'm like, I've never seen the city from this view.
That's my favorite bike ride. And the one story I would often bike from downtown where I lived to Lake Minnetonka at Maynard's or one of the places there. And, I did great my first ride, except I actually crashed into the bar.
Oh, jeez.
It's 21.4 miles. I made it there, and I somehow missed a turn and crashed into the bar.
Nice.
Nice entrance.
I meant to do
and
that.
then went, score!
I had a few drinks and made it home just fine on my bike on the dirt roads. No problem.
You didn't just to have bookends? You didn't crash into your house when you got home?
Did not. No, I was free after that. The bar just kind of snuck up on me. It was crazy.
It always does. Did you do one of those classic dismounts like they do in gymnastics? Like, I meant to do that. Ta-da!
My dismount was amazing.
Hey, you besides being in the journalist world, you're getting into the business world. Can we talk just a moment about you got a project? You were here with doing something with Nicole Middendorf, who's been on the show.
Yeah, we are. I don't know how interesting it is, but we're developing a company. Nicole and Chris O'Connell, who used to be a reporter at Channel 5 as well, is joining us in this venture. Producing, again, it's kind of boring stuff, but web videos for financial advisors. So we're targeting financial advisors all over the country. There's about 15,000 of them. And we're going to a big conference where we're putting on a seminar and some other things in late July, and then we'll figure out if this has any wings and can take off or not. But it's kind of exciting to try something different. We're, the day job, or in this case, the night job is still TV, but it's fun to try something new. We'll see how it goes.
You're probably doing a great service because I cannot imagine that financial advisors themselves have any talent at creating web content. I really feel like that would be dry, and anything you can do to assist them is probably fantastic.
Plus, as we found out, anything you do on the web is a success.
Yeah.
Instant success.
Well, it's kind of funny because one of the things we're going to be doing kind of like talkbacks with financial advisors. I'll be kind of in the anchor chair and we'll ask them questions on, saving money for college and that kind of thing. So we'll see how they do with a TV camera pointed at their face and me drilling them with 1,000 questions.
And if people are out there over the summer vacationing in Philadelphia, they may see you anchoring this summer.
Yes, I'm going to start. Up until now, I've done only reporting during the week. But I'm going to start doing a little bit anchoring in July. But, we'll see how it goes. So, yeah, I certainly have my hands full between that and this kind of startup venture.
Do they need a middle-aged, overweight, red-haired entertainment traffic reporter?
Every day, my line is the same. I have just the guy for you. In fact, the trash guy just came by this morning, and I said, I have just the guy.
If I do get a gig, I'm bringing Patrick with me, just so you know.
Absolutely. Well, that's a given. And in fact, it's funny because one of our anchors here at the station I work with here in Philly used to I think, I don't know the full story, but I think they did work together in California.
Oh, wow.
And so we share Patrick Hammer stories all the time between the two of us. And in fact, I think Patrick may have been his best man in his wedding or in his wedding in some capacity. So yeah, small world.
Hey, did I tell you I know Steve Levitan? He was at my wedding.
You still know him. It doesn't surprise me that you know him. I'm surprised that he still admits that he knows you.
Who's this guy?
The guy who created Modern Family.
Yes.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, all right, fine.
Yes, I've heard that somewhere.
We're going to be talking about Sofia Vergara here in the show, who's on Modern Family. But first, Brad, have you guys does your news station give a rip about the royal baby? Do you guys even report on nonsense like that?
I got to tell you, we have a morning show called Good Day Philadelphia that is hugely popular, and it runs from the morning show starts at 6 and goes till 4 and goes until 10. So it's a 6-hour morning show. Wow. And most of it is, fun and entertainment. And the evening newscasts are very serious, but the morning stuff is all fun and games.
Oh, wow.
And I question you calling it nonsense, Mr. Gatenby.
Yeah.
A lot of us are very excited to see the cute little baby.
Last night on Jimmy Fallon, they had a fake reporter, but he was doing a pretty good job of being a reporter, talking about the royal baby. Listen to this.
For more on this story, we go now to our annoying British correspondent, Nigel Duffy. Nigel, thank you for being here, Nigel.
Very good, yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Yes, thank you, Jimmy. My pale body is trembling with pleasure to talk about my very favorite thing in the world, the royal family.
That's gross. Nigel, what can you tell us about the second royal baby?
Well, Jimmy, everyone is speculating over what the baby's name will be. Some believe it will be named Stacy, while others think it will be called Brenda.
She already has a name. It's Charlotte.
Yes, my mistake.
All right, Nigel, what else can you tell us?
Very good. Yes, everyone is speculating over whether the baby will crawl first or walk first. Some believe it will go straight to walking.
Who believes that?
No one, Jimmy.
Nigel, what else do you have for us?
Mm-hmm, yes, everyone is speculating over what the baby's first words will be. Some believe it will be mama, while others believe it will be Choco Taco.
The second royal baby's first words will not be Choco Taco.
They will if she is fed only Choco Taco.
There you go. If you want to be a reporter on the royal baby, you just have to have a fake British accent. That's all you need. President Obama was on the late night last night on Letterman. Did you hear about that at all?
Yes. So they got to talk about their future retirement plans.
Yeah,
they
did.
Mm-hmm.
What will you do when you're not president?
Well, I was thinking you and me, we could play some dominoes together. And,
Dominoes.
All right. We can, go to the local Starbucks and swap stories.
I want to say something that the president said to me during the commercial break that I was very impressed by. He said to me, "So when you retire, what are you planning?" He says, He says, like me. He says, when I leave the office, he says, I plan on taking a month off. I said, are you kidding me? After 8 years of this, you're only taking a month off?
I really like the idea of playing some dominoes with you.
I play dominoes. I'm pretty good. I know you think I'm no good at dominoes, but I'm pretty good at dominoes.
There you go. So Letterman getting all the big guests as he winds things up.
Right.
Do you get, you must, Brad, get the bigger politicians since your proximity to Washington is much closer than we are out here in Minnesota.
Well, just like, Tom Hauser does a lot of the political stuff at 5, we have a guy who does a lot of that. So, yeah, we do some of that. I'm not heavily involved in the political side of the stories. But, they're always coming through doing – and somebody is always saying something dumb.
Right.
So
and you can rush up on all the people that are now running to be one of the candidates. And so rushing up on them, especially these initial people, that's the ones that say the dumbest stuff. The ones that you're like, okay, you're never really going to get a shot. So all the ones that just weigh in at the beginning, those are fun.
And let's be honest, those are the ones you'd like to elect.
Well, in the news world,
average people.
Yeah, give you good fodder, good sound bites.
Exactly.
Hey, have you, there's a bell there in Philadelphia, but I believe it's cracked. Have you seen that thing?
I was there yesterday morning. They were in the process of patching it up.
Good.
Yeah, it's really cool because our TV station is in the middle of Independence Mall. It's a big mall area where there is Independence Hall and the Liberty Bell and the Constitution Center. If you guys ever have an opportunity to visit Philadelphia, clearly there's a ton of history. And I'm really lucky because the TV station is in the middle of it all. It's the only one in kind of that historic venue right there. So it's really cool.
That's awesome.
Every day from where I park to where I walk right by the Liberty Bell.
So even if you have a dumb, fluffy story, you have to be like, yes, but I am surrounded by history.
Surrounded by history. There's actually a sign, I walk right by it, that says, and I'm not making this up, it says Ben Franklin's toilet. And it's a sign that points to where his toilet is. So I walk by Ben Franklin's toilet every day to work. It's 2 blocks from where I work.
That's honor.
Little attitude adjustment.
I was in Philly for a traffic safety conference put on by the feds, and of course, so we were all drunk the whole time. But I'll tell you that I love that town. That is a town that is my number one on my list to bring my kids when they're just old enough to grasp it. And 3 a.m. runs to Chris's and Gino's, amazing. That town, just walking around that town. And Shannon, you said that you didn't feel that safe. But
you know what? I did, but I was there for a whole different reason. It was when we were, so my former co-host and I were there for an audition. Yeah. But it happened to be at like a classic rock station. And if you know me, Brad, I am not classic rock material. And so they throw us on the air. And then honestly, we're sitting there
for an audition.
They throw us on the air. And this is the guy I worked with for years. So it's not like we don't know how to talk to each other, but we don't necessarily know how to talk around classic rock fans. And so all I know is that we did like a couple of breaks, and then we started taking some calls. And off the air, one guy calls and goes, "What's her tits sound like? What's her tits look like? She sounds hot." And I'm like, I do not need to be on this show. I will be packing right now.
That sounds like brotherly love.
I don't fit in.
Brotherly love.
I do not fit in here.
Yeah, it's there's a little attitude adjustment here.
And being
and there are, like any place else, there are certain places you want to avoid, but the historic area is a fun place to be. In fact, Rusty, you'll get a kick out of this. This is kind of a story that no one else will get. But literally, my first day on the job, I'm walking to the TV station, and who do I sit seeing a block from me with her family eating lunch? Kate Bendell. Channel 5 person. She was on vacation. It was during MEA weekend. She was with her kids, and I had to do a triple take. It was one of those, I don't understand. What do you how do I know you? She was just not where I expected her to be.
Yeah,
Isn't that funny?
world.
I hope you followed
up
with
vacation.
Follow up with, "Hey, Kate, what's up?" See, just walk by.
The sports town, are you hanging on to any Minnesota sports love?
Well, I got to tell you this. Vanita Sokar and I have a bet. We made this bet at the beginning of the year. Twins versus Phillies, who will have the worst record? Right now, she's kicking my butt because the Phillies are much worse than the Twins. Twins are doing all right.
So how does that work for you? Are you a huge Philly sports guy then? You always liked your baseball Phillies.
Well, I always I still follow all Minnesota teams and all Phillies teams. And I've always said, even when I was there, I am a Twins fan to the very end. We had season tickets with Tom Hauser and others. So I'd get to a lot of Twins game and would always root for the Twins, except when they play the Phillies.
Yeah.
Fair
and
enough.
Same thing, I was lucky that last year or a couple years ago, the Eagles played the Vikings, and always root for the Vikings except when they play the Eagles. So Philly is home, so it's number one, but I do follow Minnesota sports pretty closely.
Now, you never did what I consider a huge faux pas and go to a Vikings game with an Eagles jersey on, did you?
Yes.
Oh, that's...
Now, it's funny because I would also wear my Phillies jersey at the Twins game. I'd always be in a Twins jersey, except when the Phillies came to town.
No.
And it's funny because people would stop me and I'd be in my Phillies jersey and they would look at me and they'd go, "Welcome into our city. We hope you'll enjoy the time here." And I just thank them.
Good for you, though, Brad. If you're going to be a fan, he needs to be all in because I do the same thing.
When you're employed here in Minnesota, you got to represent and keep your bad decisions secret.
Nope. Go ahead and wear it.
I'm on
Angela
Brad's side.
Davis did that once, and she wore a Yankees jersey to a Twins game, and when we worked together, and I'm like, "You can't do that. You're asking for hatred. You're representing our morning show."
The Yankees are much bigger rivals for the Twins than certainly the Phillies are.
Right.
The Phillies and Twins. I mean, goodness knows the Phillies and Twins will never play each other in the World Series, so we got to take the occasional time during the regular season when they play each other.
Yeah, look at the positive side.
All right. Well, so what do you got today? What are you going to do today? It's your day off. What's a day off?
Day off. I just came through a long stretch of work over at the TV station, and it's a little bit more of launching this business. So I never seem to get a day off. My parents, who live about an hour and a half from here along the beach, keep saying, Brad, you've been here for 7 months. You ever going to visit?
7 months. Ooh.
No, I'm kidding. I've been there a few times. Just clearly not enough.
Did you ever have to report on the fishing opener when you were working?
I did. I think I did it with, I guess it must have been Governor Pawlenty years and years ago, and it was so brutally cold. We were up north. I think it was at, it was right on the border. It was way up there.
Yeah.
And it was, I was wearing a park. I mean, it was miserable.
Well, that's what we're doing here at the end of the week, and that's something else that's purely Minnesotan, right? Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, don't celebrate the outdoors like that with a big event, do they?
No, look, nobody does it like Minnesota does. I mean, I would say Minnesota embraces winter more than any other place, and even embraces summer. You guys do it right.
Syndrome. That's called Stockholm Syndrome. Love your captain.
Exactly.
All right, well, it was fantastic catching up with you, Brad.
You guys, too. I'd love to do it again. Thanks for having me.
Are you gonna come hang out here this summer?
I think I might. A friend of mine is getting married in late August.
Good.
And up in Brainerd. So if I do make that trip, I'm going to have to spend the week and catch some games and have some fun.
Nice. We have a guest room, and I know where Maynard's is. So
consider it booked, my friend.
All right, thank you. The one and only Brad Sattin, live from Philadelphia. And as you know...
You know who I am?
No, I can't say that I do.
I don't know how to put this, but... I'm kind of a big deal.
Yes, he is.
Really?
We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we got some news items to cover. You said something with Jason Derulo?
Jason Derulo. Did he
Wow.
really fall down the steps last night at the Met Gala?
And Bruce Jenner is in the news again, but not for why you think. It has nothing to do with his transgender transformation. And Sofia Vergara, I got a screening tonight of her new movie. She's also in the news for different reasons. But let's do a quick break, all right?
The Twin Cities Hit Show. We'll be right back.
MacMen. Don't let your computer problems drive you mad. We are MacMen, Minnesota's premier tech consultants and problem solvers for Macs, mobile devices, troubleshooting, training, and much more. No more dragging your computer all over town because we come to you. We love making house calls to your home or small business. MacMen. Call 612-345-8005. The Alive and Social Network is alive and growing. From the best in sports, music, movies, and beer, Alive and Social is what all the cool kids click on. Featuring characters like radio rebel Jeff Dubay, Star Tribune pundit Jim Suhan, Unfiltered, and television veteran and handsome man Rusty Gatenby. You can also taste the Minnesota Pubcast with Jason and Molly. Join the band with live band karaoke night from legendary O'Gara's in St. Paul and the live music showcase from Shamrocks. Yes, Alive and Social Network does indeed rock and roll. The Jeff Dubay Show, Jim Suhan Unfiltered, the Rusty Gatenby Review, the Minnesota Pubcast with Jason and Molly, live band karaoke, and Shamrock's live music showcase. Join the fun. Be alive and social with the Alive and Social Network.
With Suhan Unfiltered, sports columnist for the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, Jim Suhan presents in-depth conversations with the best writers and sports personalities in the area. Suhan brings professional journalism flavor without the verbal censoring. Find out what unfiltered really means. Only on the Alive and Social Network. SuhanUnfiltered.com.
You're listening to the Twin Cities Hit Show. Say it 3 times fast. We just dare you.
Happy Cinco de Mayo. It's a beautiful day out for Cinco de Mayo.
Sí, es bonita. Pues, me gusta mucho. ¿Dónde está la cerveza? Mis amigos están aquí y tengo mucho divertido. Gracias.
Very nice. I thought you would sound more like a Monty Python sketch, but you do very well.
Sí,
Very
mi acento es muy bien, pero no entiendo nada.
Señor Chuck in the house.
Sí. Voy a hacer todo el resto del show en español.
You're going to do the rest of the show in Spanish?
Sí, hay algunas palabras que no puedo recuerdo.
Okay.
Alrighty then. So I mentioned Bruce Jenner is in the news again, and it's not for what he made huge headlines for with Diane Sawyer, coming out about his transgender transformation. Here's a quick report from ABC.
You have this great urge to get out of the house?
Yeah. Bruce Jenner back on Keeping Up with the Kardashians Sunday night, offering fatherly counsel to Scott Disick to spend more time with his and Kourtney Kardashian's 3 kids.
And it's not just what you do, it's just being there.
Jenner's first appearance on the show since that now iconic interview with ABC's Diane Sawyer.
For all intents and purposes, I am a woman.
But this morning, Jenner also the subject of legal drama, a wrongful death lawsuit filed on Friday by 2 stepchildren of the late Kim Howe, the 69-year-old who died February in a head-on collision on Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu, allegedly after her Lexus was struck from behind by Jenner's Cadillac Escalade and propelled into oncoming traffic.
Are there any injuries? I'm going to say yes. It looks pretty bad. One car is destroyed.
Seeking unspecified damages, the siblings' suit alleges negligent, careless, and reckless behavior.
In California, the law requires you to drive with a safe following distance. So you can react and brake and stop in time.
Are you okay, Bruce?
Jenner, who passed an on-site field sobriety test administered by police, has not been charged in connection with the incident, though the sheriff's department says its investigation continues.
It's much more likely that a verdict for liability could be won in civil court here than a conviction in criminal court.
The wreck took place days after the former Olympian sat down with Diane Sawyer for that interview. A statement from Jenner released at that time saying, in part, "My heartfelt and deepest sympathies go out to the family and loved ones, and to all of those who were involved or injured in this terrible accident."
So,
oops.
Mr. Former policeman.
Yeah.
What do you think he's up against here?
Oh, I'd say, that if they really wanted to go all the way, which they don't, I mean, you'd have to do on every single one. You could subpoena phone records and all that stuff and see if he was texting or using his phone. And in California, they are really good about not using their phones.
Right.
Well, if this goes civil, because they obviously want some money, they'll do
that's
that.
what this is now, is they're going civil. I mean,
So-
but they don't have as much latitude as if it was a criminal case, right?
Oh, no, they got a lot more latitude.
Do they?
The standard
Okay.
of proof in a civil case is much lower.
Okay.
It doesn't take much. It's a preponderance of the evidence
Okay.
versus beyond a reasonable doubt. So in other words, 51%
Okay.
proof is proof. And clearly he rear-ended them. It is...
Oh, the car was totaled.
Yeah.
It was really sad.
They win.
It got bounced into oncoming traffic.
They win. He rear-ended them, plain and simple. But now the question is, how much is this going to be worth in a payout in punitive damages?
I would be destroyed. Bruce doesn't seem emotionally destroyed by this. I guess he's got...
Oh, I think
So
he's
much
so
going on.
messed
Yeah,
up right
I mean,
now.
he's got
He's
so
not
much
even
going on.
processing.
If I bumped someone into oncoming traffic and they were killed, I would be beside myself, distraught.
You think you got problems? I'm changing my gender, bitches.
And it does just seem so just tragic for the
Yeah.
family. I mean, but I mean, if you think about it, this situation, it does seem like maybe he was just distracted by because think about this. We do terrible things all the time, but if it really doesn't come out that he wasn't texting,
Right.
and they have already said that he wasn't under the influence of any drugs or alcohol, if he just looked the wrong way.
Right.
That is something mentally that you're like,
I believe it was the Pacific Coast Highway right there in Malibu. That is a horrible road.
Horrible stretch of road,
It's always stop and go,
Yep.
and then the speed limit in some stretches is 50.
Yep.
But then there'll be stopped traffic, and it's always so. Yeah.
Lucky they didn't go off a mountainside.
It's a terrible situation
Well,
either way.
Dead is dead.
Yeah. Whew.
Anyway,
Man.
Sofia Vergara's got a movie coming out, Hot Pursuit, that opens tonight. Or no, it doesn't open. It opens this weekend. I have a screening tonight.
Oh, fun.
It's with Reese Witherspoon. Here's a clip from it.
Mrs. Reba, where are you going? I'm getting the hell out of here before Cortez finds me and sews my face into a soccer ball.
You are in a state of shock, and you're not thinking clearly.
My husband just got murdered, and now they're coming to get me. You have to stay here until backup arrives. I am a sitting goose out here.
I'm a sitting goose out
That
here.
clip does not make me want to see that movie.
Yeah, same.
Not
same.
at all.
I know.
And I like her, and I like Reese Witherspoon. This movie looks like poop.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
My expectations are low. I will let you know on the Rusty Game review whether you should go or not. And that review will be on WCCO. While we're up north, they're still have my review on WCCO on Friday. But yeah, Sofia Vergara is so funny on Modern Family.
You know, I think her accent to me sounds so hammed up. But back when I was a cop, I had a case where a lady was a victim, and I think she lives somewhere south. I ended up talking to her on the phone quite a bit, trying to solve her case. She sounded just like Sofia Vergara.
Yeah. That's just how she sounds.
I thought that was fake. She goes, "No, that is how I talk in my country. We all talk like this."
Well, talk about somebody that has something to, some big distraction, because she's going on with the embryo case that's going on with her and her ex.
Yes.
Okay, so Chuck, here's what's going on. So her ex-boyfriend, this guy named Nick Loeb, they had some frozen embryos that they were going to use later to have children. And then they broke up, and now he wants to use the embryos. And she's like, "No, you are not using my embryos." And they're going back and forth. And that it's bad enough that we have to have fights over our existing children. But to have a fight, a custody fight, over your future potential children with an ex, oh my gosh, I don't even want to fight over a puppy.
Some people say he doesn't really have a leg to stand on.
That's what she's saying. She finally weighed in because she hadn't said anything.
He doesn't have an egg to stand on. I see what you did there.
And he's just doing this because her movie's opening and he's getting publicity.
Oh my God!
Right.
Yeah.
That's all right. You go ahead and dive into this movie that we've already decided is going to be preemptively awful.
Well, I don't have a good feeling about it, but I'm going to find out for myself tonight if it suckety sucks.
Reese Witherspoon, man, I never liked her at all until I saw Wild. I'm like, oh my God, I love her. She is awesome.
Oh, the hiking movie?
Yeah.
Into the Wild? Or
no,
Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was good, based on a story from a Minnesota woman.
And I've been reading the book. Very good.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm. Well, Reese wanted to work with Sophia because...
Well, I wanted to work with Sofia Vergara because I was a big fan of Modern Family, and I loved her character, and I just thought it was such a fresh comedy voice, and she just reminds me of, like, Lucille Ball.
Ooh.
It's a big deal. I'm very inspired by you, lady. So,
yay.
I loved all your work in those soda commercials. You looked really good in that when you would suck on the straw and people would want to come and share your Pepsi. That was really great. So I thought you'd be in my movie with me. It'd be so fun.
It's going to be very hard for Sofia Vergara to not play that version of herself in
Of
another
course.
movie.
That's what she does.
I mean, if she has the acting chops, that would be amazing.
To do something else?
Yeah, for her to do a movie like Charlize Theron did Monster, and that got her attention.
Yeah.
I want to see the two of them offset because it's just going to be, okay, Chuck, you be Sofia Vergara and be like, oh my God, we are so good in that scene together. What do you think?
Well, I just think that in my country, we have certain assets and we should show them.
I like your assets. I wanted your assets to be in the movie with me. It was so fun.
I am a serious actress. I can't. Oh my God, I completely lost it. I can't do it.
You were so good before.
I know. Oh my God.
So your man Jeremy Renner was on Conan.
Yes, I know.
Did you hear about it?
Yeah, go ahead.
What I like about you is you're very unguarded when you talk. You've been talking to the press, and you'll say all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
And you'll go for it. You'll go for a joke. You caused a bit of a controversy recently. You were talking to the press, and you called Black Widow a slut.
Yeah.
Now, let's elaborate on that.
Yeah, it was a joke, off-colored or whatever. But yeah, I'm unapologetic about a lot of things. But yeah, I got in a lot of internet trouble. I guess that's a thing now you can get in.
The internet's a brand new thing that's creeping up on America.
Jeez, man. Yeah, so when I was asked the questions, like, Black Widow's been linked to Hawkeye, Iron Man, Bruce Banner, and Captain America. So what do you think about that? I'm like, well, I said, it sounds like she's a slut. Now, mind you, we are talking about a fictional character and fictional behavior, but, Conan, if you slept with 4 of the 6 Avengers, no matter how much fun you had, you'd be a slut.
Yeah.
Just saying, I'd be a slut.
I'm just curious, which one would she be the most attracted to of all those guys?
I don't know, man. We're talking about fictional characters. I guess maybe it's the Hulk. She's into the Hulk now.
Yeah.
Still don't like the apology. Not an apology, and it still makes me think he's a jerk. So he's a great actor, though. His character did a fantastic job with his character in the movie. I like Hawkeye, the character. I do not like Jeremy Renner.
And I don't think that was an apology.
No, it was a. You
And I
guys
don't-
shouldn't be mad.
I'm sorry
I'm with
that
him.
hurt you.
I agree with him.
I'm still mad,
You
and it
should
colored.
not be mad.
It colored the way I thought about him
Did you
as
hear
I was
Conan
watching
laugh?
the movie.
Conan laughed.
Just because somebody else laughs at something doesn't mean that it changes my opinion. If you guys can laugh at it all day, I still think it was out of pocket and unnecessary, and I don't agree. And there's other things about what's going on with that character that I don't agree with as well. You know, I look at it as an opportunity for a female character to be taken seriously in a genre that already has a problem with slut shaming, and he's not helping with the situation.
Back up there. The comic book movies, comic book world have a slut
Yeah,
shaming.
so one of the things that is really going on, and this is another case of knowing your audience, is that there's since the prevailing side of the thing is so male dominated, it's another thing like in the gamer world and Gamergate where there's already this borderline hostile situation for a lot of females in general. And so for him to use a word that we are constantly battling against, where it's if you like this and if you go to a comic book convention or some sort of con and then you're sexually harassed, then it's your fault because it's you came looking this direction, you came into this particular world and then you are slain, you are the one that is shamed for the situation versus saying that the guy who did something was out of pocket. That's something that we are dealing with on a regular basis in this community. And so, no, I don't cut him any slack for saying it's a fictional character. I'm very aware that Black Widow is not somebody that I'm going to walk up to on the street. So saying you made fun of that, it's not something.
When you sleep with 4 of the 7 Avengers, you're sleeping around.
Well, I mean, my whole
when
thing
you
is that
look up
he's
the definition of slut, it's someone who sleeps around.
Well, if that's what they want to do, if they, based
Right?
upon the situation.
Well, no,
no, and I don't think that I think that it's something that they have put power in a word, and that word has more power against females than it does against
you're
a man.
putting power in the word.
No, I'm not. It's something that's been used against a lot of people, and I know that there's a situation that if I do something, and it's still like this, yeah, he kind of pocketed in the men, well, I would be a slut. No, they wouldn't jump to that word if they were using it against the
that's
characters. They don't immediately go to, here's what happens if you're a
Rusty,
guy.
this is
it's
probably
still
the
not that
one
way
time
yet.
I might almost disagree with you on this. And
Don't be scared that he's gonna fire
I'm not
you.
scared of Rusty. He's a pussy. I just want to point that out. But no, what's weird is usually he and I see eye to eye on this.
Yeah.
But I would say,
Go ahead.
if you were the dude superhero and you slept with 4 of your female partners, you'd be high-fiving
It either
everybody.
wouldn't be, wouldn't be mentioned, or you'd still be, considered a champion.
Unless you were going for humor and you go, Rusty, big slut. Unless
No.
you were going for a joke.
Well,
No,
I think
I don't think that just you can make a joke of anything that you like. That doesn't mean that I have to agree with you or be on the side of you and go, okay, it's fine that it was a joke. It could still be something that I use how I feel about you as a person moving forward.
This goes back last week when Shannon was just our guest. Now she's a co-host, but we were talking about this very thing.
Well, that's why I queued it up.
Right, and that's for those of us who didn't hear this in the
Yeah.
first place last week. So I'm just bringing everyone up to speed, our 4 listeners.
Gotcha.
But for me, it was totally out of context. I don't know crap about this superhero stuff. And so when he said it, just because to me it was an offhanded remark that was complete, I didn't know anything about it. I'm like, it kind of struck me as funny. Now that I know more of the dynamics of the characters in the world, you're bringing me into your superhero comic crap world. Now, it makes a little more sense. I could see it would be a little more offensive. But just off the cuff,
Plus,
to me
if
at first it was just a little bit funny.
And if you've seen the films, the way that this particular character, if we're going to go, okay, what is this fictitious character doing or not? It's based upon relationships that she has with different people. It's not she's just walking up, just throwing it out there anyway. So characterizing it as slutty behavior is inappropriate anyway. It's I'm building some sort of emotional bond with this person. I'm not just walking up to him, throwing it out there, which male or female, then yeah, if you're looking at it from a definition point of what might be slutty behavior, I would interpret that as, hey, you're doing this just for the sake of doing it, or just, but it's no. In the situation, you don't even get to, are they having any sort of physical contact?
Yeah.
It's how are you building this emotional bond, as are we dating? Are we relationship? Are we building each other? So, and in this fictitious world, I still don't think it counts as slutty behavior even.
Could I channel Robert Phones?
Yeah.
A man that I'm embarrassed to say it. Sorry, Robert, I love
He's
you.
another
but
comedian here in town.
I'm going to channel you his joke about the walk of shame. And he goes, they call it a walk of shame. I don't know why they call it a walk of shame. You mean you're embarrassed about doing that thing that every one of us is trying to do every second of our lives. I feel like if you're walking back from this, you should have a used condom slung over your shoulder. You should be high-fiving babies. I did it. Yeah, that's, I don't know. It is weird. It's a matter of perspective.
Right.
Because, like I said, if you were that male in that group, I mean, the dudes would be like, yeah, you hit all 4 of those, even the cross-eyed one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a different standard.
But if I do
get
it,
that.
people are still looking at me like, oh, that's slutty.
Shannon,
You
I
know?
happen to know for the record that you're a virgin. I still think you're a slut.
Thank you.
So,
yeah, see? Yeah,
So-
can't win for losing. That's how it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Can't win for losing.
Okay.
He just met me, Chuck. He thought she might chill out now. Nope.
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 Not this Shannon with an A.
Exactly.
Well, what you say? What happened to Jason Derulo?
Okay, we'll go to something a little bit lighter. So last night was the Met Gala, and if you're not familiar with the Met Gala, it is an event that they have every year as part of it's the Costume Institute Gala at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. And what it is just an excuse for stars to come and wear outlandish, just absurd outfits. And so they do, it's, one of the big things that you do is you watch the red carpet and people show up in these amazing outfits. And so what happened last night is that the internet blew up because there was a story that Jason Derulo, who we believed was Jason Derulo in a white tuxedo, crashed down the stairs. And so it was like, oh no, Jason Derulo fell, and either other stars were talking about it, and Lady Gaga was tweeting about it, and there's all these pictures of Jason Derulo, I'll even show it, tumbling down the stairs, a guy tumbling down the stairs with a white tuxedo. And that would have been awesome. Well, it turns out,
April Fools.
no, it wasn't even Jason Derulo, so it wasn't at the Met Gala. He's like, yeah, it wasn't me, I was in Los Angeles. Now, here's why I'm disappointed by the story. I'm glad that Jason Derulo is not hurt. That's awesome. I really wanted it to happen because a guy falling down the stairs would have been hilarious. Because normally every time somebody falls down the stairs or something terrible happens because of a wardrobe malfunction, it's the woman. Because we're in these absurd shoes. Nobody's surprised that we fell down the stairs. I just wanted a dude to fall down the stairs in his practical shoes.
Has the answer surfaced? What is that photo? Where
That
is
actually,
it from?
it is a photo that it was actually from a whole different guy. And it was at a different event. It was actually at the Cannes Film Festival way back in 2011. So somebody had that and then retweeted it and then started all of this. Because the internet occasionally lies, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So some guy did. So it's a whole different person. This was an unidentified gentleman.
looks
They
like a
did take a
stunt
tumble.
man. Yeah.
Exactly. So they did take a tumble and it ended up being a hoax. But I really wanted somebody. I just wanted it to be a guy. I didn't want him hurt.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be like, yeah, you and your sensible shoes. You guys tripped too, huh?
In a white suit. He's in an all-white suit.
Yes,
That looks
so it would have been a
amazing.
fantastic tumble.
Jason just broke up, right, with his wife? Is that who I'm thinking of? Jason Derulo?
Did he just break up? I missed that. I will look it up.
A couple of months ago, right? He was with famous singer from American Idol. Do I have the right guy?
I'm shaking my head because
was Jason just here at Glam Slam last summer?
Glam Slam.
I believe
I don't
so.
know.
Yeah.
All I keep hearing, you guys say Jason to, I hear Russia.
You see,
all I'm thinking of, Jason, seriously. Yeah, his hair was messed up when he got up.
yeah,
after the tumble.
I'm not sure on that. I'm gonna have to check. I am not. Let's see.
He was married, right? Look at this.
I'm looking now because now it's bothering me that I don't know because I do love my pop stars and I normally know.
And he did like music videos with.
Oh,
her.
he does a lot of breakup.
Yeah. That's yep. He did "Marry Me," right?
Jordan Sparks.
Sparks.
There we go. You're right. So Jordan Sparks. And I did read a story that Jordan Sparks has a new beau.
Hey,
So
guys.
she had already moved on. Yes.
Here it is, Jordan Sparks.
Yeah. You're so slow. You are very slow on the Google machine over there.
It sounds like the story
Yeah.
might be that Jason Derulo was being a bit of a slut, and that's
No.
And she was like very disappointed in
like-
that. Imagine that.
And the song "What You Say" is all about someone who got busted for having
kind
an
of things.
affair.
Yes.
And I want you back. I'm sorry. And then
They always want you back. Kind of thing. Every song is very, it's either I hate you so much, never talk to me again, or I want you back right now.
Oh, baby.
I shouldn't have done it. I apologize.
I want you back,
Men.
baby.
And I like this song about "Marry Me." And he puts her in the video. Dude, you're so invested. Why did you blow it? Freaking blew it.
Sometimes your art just can't keep your relationship together.
Men.
Who's Jordan Sparks? I don't even know who that is.
And I will say this: she was actually excellent on American Idol. Now I feel extra bad that I forgot about that whole thing.
Yeah, and she had some hits.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
you know.
She misspelled
She's been in
Jordan.
She's done movies. She's done movies.
There's a typo in her name. They misspelled her name. Kind of like Shannon.
No,
they misspelled your name.
yeah,
too. We've talked about this. I still want to call your mom.
We played a lot this spring, I would think.
Yes.
A lot of weddings. Or is it now soiled?
No,
because they had a
people won't remember.
high-profile breakup.
I think they'll be fine. And this is one of those ones. For a while, weren't a lot of people using it as a. You had lots of those the proposals that were going viral using this.
Oh, for God's sake!
So you have no issue with Jason being a
Here's the
cheater,
thing.
big cheater pants?
I think cheating. Of course, I have issues with people being cheaters, kind of thing. I
think you would be
why
more
would I
upset
not have
at
an
Jason
issue with people?
Well, the tone of your voice sounded like you were still very much a fan, and I thought you'd
I
be
didn't
more.
say I was a fan.
Okay.
And I'm not a, and I'm, kind of thing. I'm like, you can, a fan of particular behavior. No, I'm not sitting there. Good on you, Derulo, for being a big cheater.
Yeah, to Russia.
I'm like,
Well, you're all
I'm
down
not
on
it.
Jeremy Renner. I thought you'd be soiled on Jason Derulo,
Well, you
too.
get
for
on
being...
soiled on those things too. But I mean, the whole thing about him doing that, I have to look into it and go, well, did he make an apology? Did somebody hold it against him? And so, yeah, I mean, I don't get immediately upset about everything. I need a minute to decide how mad I am about it,
right.
Kind of thing. So possibly.
Because
I might
she
look
was
into it and go,
borderline like an America's sweetheart, right? And
Yes.
to have this high-profile breakup, I'm like, oh, this guy's got to be hurting in ticket sales, but maybe not.
I mean, and I think that sometimes you see, is it a pattern of behavior as well, and how to think. And I think that a lot of my, animosity towards Jeremy Renner isn't just towards the particular thing, because I'm not railing on Chris Evans because he went, hey, I screwed up and I apologize and I'm sorry. And that's where we left it. Jeremy Renner is more just going around going, about the whole thing. And I don't appreciate his response to the situation either.
Because not even the general public isn't in total agreement on this, as we demonstrated. So,
Speaking of, I'm surprised that someone was able to rebound from his personal behavior. R. Kelly.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did R. Kelly do now?
No, I'm just saying he still sells tickets.
He still sells tickets. He doesn't sell as many tickets as he did.
Yeah. Oops. Sorry. I was trying to play some music, but
he does not sell as many tickets as he used to, and that was, clearly a very public, display of a pattern of unacceptable behavior. So no, I'm not going to defend R. Kelly, and R. Kelly tanked himself as well, because not only did he have that, he started making worse music, kind of thing. So the stuff that made you love R. Kelly, then he did a bunch of that Trapped in the Closet stuff and all these things that you're just like, well, now you're just crazy and not making good music anyway. So
confession, I never liked R. Kelly. I couldn't give a crap less about his music, and when I found out what he did,
then you actually didn't like him.
Yeah, even easier.
You're like, now I feel justified in not liking his music.
Yeah.
I love some of his hits are amazing, but I can't really.
You can't
play
like him,
I
and that's fine.
I can't play it.
And I think that's I think that's what you're saying, is that everybody has their sore spots. As humans, you have different triggers that you have, and just because somebody's a star and just because somebody's talented doesn't mean that you have to like them as a person, and you can choose to support them or not.
Probably bad timing, but Chuck peed on a slut once.
Yeah. Well, she asked for it. She was dressed slutty.
Don't they always?
No, but
yes,
here's the thing.
I'm sure they always ask for it.
I look at
That's the
this
thing.
journey too, because I look at Michael Vick, and I was a huge fan of Michael Vick.
Oh yeah,
huge. And when I saw what he did on the football field, I actually stopped doing dogfighting, and I just, I couldn't do it anymore because he's just such a crappy football player.
You're like, I don't want to be like
that's
him.
my journey. That's just my journey. That's one little secret into my soul.
Well, I'm just glad that you managed to learn something from
Yes.
the situation.
Yeah. So-
And it probably made you a better person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone deserves a second chance, but that Vic was able to come back is amazing.
Well, it's actually, and in all seriousness, obviously I was tongue-in-cheek back there, but in all seriousness, welcoming him back to the NFL as they did and putting him as a quarterback again after his stint in prison, he's not a changed man. He's exhibiting
He's
violent
clean
behavior.
so far, isn't he? He hasn't had any
Well, yeah,
issues?
because he's can't. But he got caught the
No
first
such
time.
thing as can't.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
lots of people who you think can't.
Yeah,
they screw up again.
Right.
Yeah. I get the Adrian Peterson thing. I do. I think there's a cultural difference and there's a misunderstanding. And what he did is wrong, but there's shades of gray. There's nothing questionable about having dogs kill each other.
Right. I mean, I looked at Adrian Peterson. I mean, even from someone who comes from that part of the country and understands that and has gotten a switch, I'm still like, you should do better. And I'm glad that he understood that. And again, it's back to how did he respond to the situation? Right. And I think he responded in a way. I mean, have you met Adrian Peterson?
No.
Okay. Here's the thing about Adrian Peterson. He's huge.
Yeah.
And he can't even, I've seen him just shake another hand of a grown man and crush it. You, I'm sorry, are not allowed to take a switch to your little kid.
Yeah.
And so now that he's like, maybe I need to come up with some different parenting strategy. Yes, I agree with you. You should. That's not just an okay. And I don't use it just because I came from that side of the country. I do not use a switch on my little boy.
Well,
I know better.
Plus, guys with 6 kids that are all the same age, maybe you might want to start picking up on how to parent right now.
Yeah,
Good
so
time
I'm glad
to learn.
he's in some classes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good time
And
to
I
learn.
think there's a whole group of Minnesota Viking fans who are willing to go, la, 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 just suit up. We don't. Don't. We don't want to look at your laundry. Just suit up and play.
And I think this is and that's a personal decision. Some people do that. I do. There are obviously certain things that I go, that's somebody I don't support.
Yeah.
And like most humans, I will admit that it is arbitrary because it is based upon certain things that I have some sort of emotional response to. So the Adrian Peterson thing was something that I was like, no, you don't get to do that.
Yeah.
So.
But so how do you feel now?
Again, it's how do you respond and how do did you the fact that he seemed like, well, maybe I should look into some different parenting strategies.
So
I was I applaud that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Chuck. Let's talk about some people who break the law, since we're already having about a half-hour discussion of it.
Yeah.
Everybody's just criminals today.
Yeah.
Guy makes poor choice in liking a Facebook post. Pro tip for alleged criminals: if you see your photograph featured as a most wanted suspect on your local Crime Stoppers Facebook page, maybe don't like the post. Alas. No, this is someone else's writing, not mine. Alas, Montana 23-year-old Levi Charles Reardon did not heed that advice, and now an arrest that might otherwise have gone unnoticed is getting coverage in places like France. The Great Falls Tribune... I know, the international. The Great Falls Tribune reports Reardon was arrested last Friday, and while it doesn't appear that the like is what did him in, it's what's getting plenty of attention. The Cascade County Crime Stoppers posted the photo last month and has since posted a few updates, including a screenshot of Reardon's like, haha, his buddy commented and tagged him in the first place. What a nice friend, LOL, observed one commenter. If I see someone I know making poor life choices, got to make sure it's known. Plus, half the time, people don't even know they have warrants or wanted.
Wow.
Mr. Reardon's arrest was the result of an anonymous tip. He's suspected of stealing a wallet and personal checks. And he goes in and likes his own post.
And his buddy tagged him.
Yeah, so
the
nice.
bestest of friends.
Yeah. People forget how much crime gets solved by idiots checking. Back when Foursquare was a thing, people would check in on Foursquare. I had a ghost profile that I created when I was in our crime prevention unit. One guy, I pick a picture of this kind of contemporary, a dude partying, and I created a whole persona, and I friended like all of Bloomington's troublemakers.
Right.
And they'd be like, oh, friend request? Oh, he's like friends with 6 people I know. Yeah, he's probably legit. I was getting invited to parties. I was getting birthday greetings. Hey, happy birthday. Hope to see you at the party. Blah. It was a non-existent person.
Because we understand that criminals
you
are
able to
just
get in?
people too.
Yeah. There were a couple parties that he got invited to that we went and busted straight up. Like, oh, there's a party tonight.
It's funny. My son, who's a senior graduating coming up here May 17th, senior at the U of M, smart kid, business. He is also a Spanish major.
See?
He did not accept my friend request as a parent, and that happened like senior year in high school.
Yeah. Yep. You go, Rusty.
He didn't want me to check in on him. I'm like, he's an adult. He's on his own. He accepted the dogs. Dude, guess who's running the dogs? Facebook.
Is there proof that you're running the dogs? Not necessarily.
I'm like, oh, we accepted Harvey's Facebook.
Harvey sends him a message. Knock it the fuck off. I know what you're up to.
I think that people forget how public a lot of these things are, and you get caught all the time. Is that you think something's private, and it's like, no, that's not how it works. Everybody saw that.
Well, to his credit, even spying through Harvey, I didn't find anything bad for my
He's a
son.
good boy. He's a good boy.
Well, my friend did
Good
that
boy,
on her
Harvey.
daughter's Twitter account. Is that she's like, well, I should go and follow. I said, no, just look, because she probably didn't lock it, because most people
Exactly.
didn't lock it.
Right.
Just figure out what it is. Don't ask her, and just look every once in a while if you want to be nosy.
And I'm kind of torn in that way because I suppose I should be checking on my 15-year-old daughter's
But if you don't feel like you have to,
information.
that's fair. But you know, if it's just out there, I think you're probably smarter just to not go, I'm looking at you all the time. Just every once in a while, just kind of snoop.
Because as far as my mom and dad knew, I was just a good, straight, young boy.
Because you
in
weren't
high school.
Instagramming all of the dirtiness that
Hey,
you
Rusty,
did.
I've known you for a while, and you're a good, straight young boy.
Thank you. All right, well, I think we've killed another hour here on this fabulous Cinco de
Time just
Mayo.
flies.
See?
So are we gonna? It's 10:30. So it's,
See?
we can go margarita it up, right?
See?
Here's this is the theme song from Once Upon a Time in Mexico. On the guitar, Antonio Banderas.
Oh, I like Antonio.
sí.
Yes, Antonio.
¿Veras?
Es muy macho.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, he's been in musicals and such.
Yeah.
He can
Mhm.
sing. So anyway, we're gonna leave you with a little Antonio Banderas on the guitar from Once Upon a
See?
Time in Mexico.
See?
He doesn't need no stinking badges.
No.
He's Antonio Banderas. He is single.
Yes.
He has left. What's her face? Crazy face.
Celebrate safely, everybody. Celebrate safely.
Yes.
Oh,
Who's on the show
celebración.
tomorrow? What do we got going up tomorrow?
We have the mayor of Lakeville, probably the youngest mayor of a major city that's ever been elected that I'm aware of, and a very interesting political force down there where I happen to live.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, celebrate safely. Have a wonderful Cinco de Mayo.
Feliz Cinco de Mayo.
Twin Cities Hit Show. Was it La or Le?
La.
El.
How's that French?
Francais.
Sí.
El Twin Cities Hit Show.
Tres veces.
Yes.
Tres veces.
Yes, yes.
It's over. The hit show is over. You've been listening to the Twin Cities Hit Show with Rusty, Courtney, and Chuck. Now go home, unless you're already home.